Hello lovely learners, welcome back to A Life Learned. I have been wanting to vlog about this and share with you guys regarding the topic for quite a while now, but have been struggling on how to put it all into words, to be honest. It's been a huge jumble in my head in terms of just what I've been going through personally and how to sort of put it all to words. So it's been a bit of a struggle. I actually recorded an 11+ minute video a little while ago and deleted it all because I was just rambling so much, kind of like I started this one. But anyway, I have been struggling quite a bit in the last month or two. I mean, if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know I've been struggling with suicidal ideation for years. But it's gotten to a new level of difficulty for me. It always keeps changing. There's new reasons, new ways, new lows. It seems to keep happening that I'm always finding it's able to get worse even when I think it's at its worst. And of course that's incredibly frustrating. And I've been trying to, work through it, of course. I don't want to give in. I know that my brain isn't working right. That's the only time that the human brain goes into suicidal thoughts is when parts of it have stopped working properly, the parts that want to keep you alive, because you do literally have like survival instincts that constantly keep you trying to live, and so that's obviously not functioning when you're dealing with suicidal ideation. So I'm aware of that, and I'm always working on it. It doesn't always make it that much easier. But anyway, I've been reflecting a lot on the concept that a lot of people deal with suicidal ideation throughout the world for a plethora of different reasons, just so many different reasons. Sometimes it's a wonder how there could be so many different things to cause a person to want to take their life. But I feel in many ways that I've noticed a commonality, and I do believe this is understood about at least depression, if not suicidal issues, is the concept of social inclusion, and that when that is compromised in some way, it can lead a person to question their purpose of living. And in that, what I mean by that is that, like, it's either the way a person sees themselves within society, or how they have gotten used to interacting with people around them, either through their job or through their social setting, whatever. That connection, that form of income, or that form of purpose and drive in life, and how they see themselves fitting into humanity is called into question, or is messed up, reduced or damaged, or completely taken away in some manner. And a lot of this is being seen with YouTubers in the last year, unfortunately, with how YouTube has gone to absolute shit. And a lot of people have used it as their source of income and as their way of participating in society and socializing with people and communicating with people. And a lot of people have continued their channel despite the mass change in advertiser support, which is nice to see. But a lot of people have validly struggled quite a bit. They've had to go to therapy. They've had to seek medical therapy and just help in general with deep depression and suicidal ideation as a result of what they know being called into question, their form of social inclusion being called into question, and possibly being taken away from them, basically. And I can see where this really applies to a lot of different breakdowns that people have, and in many ways the breakdown that I've been dealing with, because now this gets a lot deeper than just social inclusion, but I've really come to notice that, for me in particular, the way that I have lived a lot of my life has been very much about other people. And that can be good. You always want to be mindful, thoughtful, and considerate of others. That's generally a good attribute to have. But when you don't have a mind for yourself, consideration for yourself, or it's generally self-worth, worth for yourself, basing so much on other people can be really compromising in terms of your mental health. And this happens a lot with people who go through trauma as a child, Not always, but often children will take on the responsibility of what's happening to them and decide that this must be happening because there's something wrong with me, because I'm doing something wrong, because I am the wrong one. And I was definitely one of those children. And what those children often do is they become hyper aware, hyper vigilant of the emotional states or the mental states of people around them, so that they can always judge if they're about to get into trouble or upset someone. And I feel like that combined with this weird complex I have about associating caring about myself at all as being selfish. I don't really know why I have that, but like when I was really young, someone must have told me that being selfish is a really bad attribute to not have, and I somehow associated that giving any consideration or concern for myself was being selfish. I would guess that I was probably trying to self-care as a child and someone told me I was being selfish, but I don't actually know. I can't remember an instance where it like clicked in my head like that. I just know that is an association or like a complex that I have. I have a really hard time taking care of myself without feeling like I'm being selfish, without feeling like I'm putting myself first too much and thus becoming a bad person, the type of person I don't want to be. And I feel this is very common for a lot of children who go through trauma, is they struggle with taking care of themselves in many ways because they weren't taken care of. They weren't shown how to care for themselves. And maybe, you know, some people are like me where they then associate that self-care is bad, basically. It makes you selfish, it makes you a bad person. But anyway, I digress. All of this has come down to me in many ways making a lot of decisions in my life that were based on what other people thought, what other people said, what other people felt. And this isn't all the time. Like, I've certainly pursued my own interests in some ways, but I've really gone logical. I've gone what makes most sense, or what everyone is advising me to do. Or I've really steered in the direction of how can I satisfy what I find interesting or what I like in life while also serving other people and doing something, making it about helping other people. And again, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't necessarily want to stop being like that. But therapy has really taught me that self-worth is very important, and mindfulness of self-consideration and boundaries regarding how much you put yourself out there for other people are healthy. They're good. They're good for you. Knowing how to take care of yourself and taking care of yourself is important in order for you to be able to help others, because you can only ever be at your best if you're taking care of yourself, and only you can truly know how to properly take care of yourself. Only you know, what you want, what you feel, and how you prefer things. Sure, you can try to communicate that with other people, through human language and such, but certain things are really hard to communicate, and sometimes other people just don't get it. So in the end, you're the only one who's really going to get you and be able to best take care of you. And with that realization, I've come to realize that I have associated my form of social inclusion, or my place in humanity and society, is that I always have to help people. And I always have to be doing things for other people, or I'm a bad person. That if I do anything for myself just because I like it or because I want to, I'm being too selfish and a bad person. I don't know, to simplify it. And that's not true. I mean, sure, there is such thing as too selfish. We've all met people who are way too self-centered and too selfish. But the human existence is selfish and self-centered. We don't really know that much outside of our own person. I mean, we can learn and experience others and be open-minded to others. But ultimately, the only reason you ever do anything is because this entity that you're living within likes it, wants to, feels endorphins and positive feelings when you do an activity. That's why you want to do it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not harming others or, through deliberate action or ignorance, there's nothing wrong with pursuing things that you like. But I've really struggled with that concept. And I've really struggled with feeling a part of society, feeling included, and feeling like a part of humanity in a way. No, I'm an alien. No, I mean, just like I'm saying, social inclusion is a big part of humanity. It's as they showed in Castaway, a big part of how our brains work. We need to communicate with each other and share our experiences and share our lives to live, to exist, to be healthy. And I've had quite a bit of isolation over the last few years through not working and through most of my interactions being through the screen instead of in person. And the more I interact in person, like my anxiety seemed to keep getting worse in recent years rather than better. But I have noticed in the last couple weeks or so that I think my mindset's somewhat shifting because I'm spending a lot of time reflecting on the fact that I have spent so much of my life trying to be happy or seek happiness or be okay, trying to make other people happy, trying to satisfy other people, trying to fulfill other people, help other people, make my life about other people. And I will repeat, I think there's nothing wrong with being considerate. It's an essential attribute to be mindful and thoughtful of others. But it's really healthy to live life for yourself. To live life because you want to, for things that you want to do. And I thus empathize with anyone who is dealing with suicidal ideation or depression as a result of the things that they want to do in life and the things that they've become accustomed to being part of their social inclusion or the way they interact in society or work, being called into question or being removed from their lives. I empathize so much. I understand how incredibly difficult that has been for you or must be for you because it's what you've known. It's all you've ever known. That's been life. And it's so unfair that any of that ever be called into question. But life has changed. And if you come to reflect on it, that's very true and a healthy mindset to try and carry. Because if you realize that things don't ever really stay consistent and the same, you can be in a better place to prepare yourself or be ready for when these ideas that we have or these habits that we're used to enacting in terms of being part of society get messed with or get changed. In the end, how you interact with society is up to you. And how your social inclusion affects you isn't necessarily your fault or up to you, because a lot of that is out of our control. But there is a lot you can do. You can reach out to others and you can try to promote more inclusion in your life in new ways. And I know change is scary. And I know it's terrifying to reach out and risk rejection. God, I know. But you never really know what might happen if you don't try, you know? And in the end, I've personally come to see that with my personal struggle being that I based too much of my purpose, drive, or social inclusion on trying to please others or make others happy or help them, that what I need to do is focus more on self, on self-worth, on self-confidence, and what I like about life, what I see as purposeful and enjoyable. And I need to pursue that a little without feeling like it's a bad thing because it's not necessarily benefiting other people. Just as a final note on that, my partner was talking to me about the fact that it's nice to reflect on how you can impact others, though, even when you're just being selfish and doing your own thing. Because there's lots of people who pursue all kinds of personal interests, from scientists to artists. The most passionate scientists are doing it because they find it interesting, because they find it incredibly intriguing and they want to know more. And then society benefits from it because they were just so curious. And the most amazing artists do it because they love the medium. They love what they're creating. They love the act of creating. They're living autotelically, basically, both these scientists and artists. They're living life for the experience because they enjoy what they're doing, not necessarily just because of the results. And so, in that way, by being selfish, they are contributing to the world. They're making themselves happy, they're fulfilling their curiosity, they're fulfilling their desire to do whatever it is they want to do in life. But they're still also giving back to humanity just by sharing what they do with others. And I mean, with science, that's hard to, you can't really not share what you discover. I suppose with art, you could lock it away somewhere, but then what's the point? The point is to show others, right? And so, or I guess just to create in many cases. And then if others get to enjoy it, they get to enjoy it. That's a nice consequence. So yeah, I ramble. I'm sorry. But I mean to say that selfish endeavors can ultimately lead to a contribution to humanity and society and the world, because you're enjoying your life, and through doing that you're being passionate and happy about what you're doing, and that can have the best results. In many, many cases, it can create some of the most amazing pieces of knowledge or artwork or architecture, whatever, anything like that. Anything that comes out of humanity is at its most awesome when it's being made with passion. And so I guess the conclusion here is that I am currently in the mode of searching out what I'm passionate about in life. I know I'm passionate about helping people, and I don't think that's going to change despite this new insight to pursue life a bit more for myself. But I also know that I am a bit of a stranger to myself. There's a lot I don't know about myself because I've never really pursued it out of feeling like it was wrong and selfish. And so I'm basically probably not going to be posting too much this year. I will sporadically here and there, when a fibrojournal idea comes up, or when something like this comes up that I want to share with you guys that's been kind of revolutionary for me. But I guess this is a little bit of a warning that despite how slow ALifeLearned went in 2017, it's going to be even slower in 2018. Because I really want to take some time to focus deeply on my therapy and to really start making progress with it. And part of that is focusing more on me. And my channel has definitely been a source of avoidance, to be honest. I mean, you guys have contributed so much to my life, and I can't thank you enough. You've really helped me still feel included in society and in the world despite my isolation. And I'll always appreciate you for that, and I don't ever want to stop our connection. I just do need to take some time for myself, and even though I technically took a break last year and was doing a lot less, I still wasn't really taking enough time for myself. I was sort of sitting, how could you say, I felt like I was just sitting in a cesspool of bullshit and not really knowing what to do with it. And so I couldn't work, but I wasn't really doing therapy either. But in recent months, I've started to break open some new things, realize some new things about myself and about my need to explore myself. And so that's what I'm going to be doing for the next while. And I guess I just wanted to both let you guys know that, and also let you know if you're ever struggling with your desire to live, to go forward, what's the point sort of thing. My answer to that is there doesn't need to be a point. The point can just be to enjoy. And if you're struggling to enjoy, then definitely seek help, seek medical attention if it's gotten that bad. But on your own, reflect and try to be mindful about what it is you felt was your form of social inclusion in society, what it is you felt was your purpose or drive in life, and how is that being called into question? How is that being messed with? Because maybe by reflecting on that, you might be able to see more clearly as to what you can do about it and how you can readjust to enjoy life still despite all of that changing. I'm sorry this has gotten to be such a long video, but just to conclude, Zuko, come here. I thought I would introduce you guys to my new friend and lovely little boy, Zuko. Come here. Come on. Come here, silly. Come on. He's been a bit of a headache the last 6 months because he is involving a lot of training. Come on. Come here. And he's not listening right now. Come. There you go. There's my good boy. Here he is. Here he is. Here's my boy. Oh, can't quite see him. There he is. There's my Zuko. Hi, Zuko. Hey, baby. This is my handsome boy. And I love him so much. And he's been keeping me very busy. There's my boy. Just got fixed recently, so been a little busy with that. But yeah, he's been a great source of therapy. I'm very happy for him. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to meet him before I release this video, and I don't know, I'm not sure when I'll be putting out another one, so I just wanted to let you meet the newest member of my family. And if you guys are ever interested in seeing what's going on with him or life, please do feel free to follow me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever the medias I have down in the description. I tend to post a lot more often lately on Instagram, sharing about him and about life and any progress I'm making. So yeah, if you're interested in keeping up with me, you're more than welcome to follow me there. I'm not closing down the channel. Again, I'm just going on an indefinite hiatus where I will be randomly posting, but there won't be any more schedule about it. Not that there really has been, let's be real. But yeah, anyways, in the end, thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for being your lovely selves. You guys are awesome, like really, really awesome people, and I appreciate you in my life, and I hope that soon I will be making great content for you guys again. But in the meantime, I gotta take a little time for myself, and I mean like real dedicated time for myself. I guess I'd like to just finish off by suggesting that you do the same. It's never a bad idea, and you definitely deserve it. Anyway, have a good day, everyone. Thank you so much again, and do join me again, not next week, not sometime soon, but eventually, where I try again to share a little something I've learned in life.